レクイエム。
Welcome back, YouTube. It's your boy Show back with another video, and today we're finishing up SMT. SMT 5 was such a great game. I finally finished the main campaign for it. I'm very excited to talk about it with you guys, as these are my final thoughts on the whole game as a whole. Now, obviously, I need to go back and play some of the new game plus material. That's obviously a given, but we'll go ahead and get through this part of the video first before I start making more videos on my new game plus run. Now, first things first, let's get one of the most important things out the way: the music. The music was absolutely fantastic. And mind you, this is not a review. It's just me talking about my final thoughts, so it's not going to be structured like a review. If you're looking for this video, if you're looking towards this video as far as like you want to see if you should buy the game or not, you don't have to wait to the end. Definitely buy the game. It's a great game. 10 out of 10, probably my favorite Switch game of all time. And if that's not a glowing endorsement on whether to get this game or not, then you're missing out. Now, not spending too much time on the sound, because I'm not really a audio engineer type of guy, but the different boss battles and different music, even the battle music, was fantastic. If I had to say my favorite battle theme was probably Shiva's battle theme. And Shiva's a boss that you fight towards the end of the game, so obviously I can't show you the actual fight, as that would be heavy spoilers if you're actually playing the game. Moving on to my particular favorite part of the section, gameplay. Gameplay for me was super solid. And when I say super solid, that means that I would play a game, even if the game has a bad story, I would play a game that's solid. Like, I would play the actual combat mechanics. Just because a game doesn't have a story doesn't mean it can't be fun to play, because you can play different combat mechanics and, you know, really enjoy the game without actually enjoying the story. And in this particular game, the combat was very, very fun. For me, I've always loved turn-based RPGs, so this is a really easy choice for me. This is something I was very much looking forward to. Honestly, when I first heard about this game, I had heard about it when I first got my Switch. I believe I got my Switch a year after it released, and I got my Switch for this game. I got my Switch for this game and for any of the other Persona games that we may get, or whatever we want to get as far as RPGs. I just felt like it was time to get a new handheld console. I had ended up seeing the teaser trailer for this game, and I was thoroughly surprised. I was ready to play this, without a doubt. But as all things finally do come out, it finally released, started playing, and the first thing I loved right away was gameplay. Like I said, it takes formula from some of the other SMT games. Obviously, I really couldn't get into Nocturne, I believe it's called, the remaster one that they brought on Switch. I really couldn't get into that one. I felt like the story was just a little bit too dry for me. And even though we'll get into the story of this game in particular in a minute, I want to talk more about the gameplay. Now, one thing I really loved about all those like franchises that's under that banner of SMT is the negotiations. I really love negotiations. There's a really interesting way to be like a different Pokemon battle. Speaking of Pokemon, I've had Pokemon for a while now. I have not touched it because I decided to just drop 60 hours on this game just because I just couldn't stop playing it. But going back to what I was saying, it's basically a better version of Pokemon catching. You know, I don't want to compare it too much, but basically you'll talk to a demon and, you know, he'll either ask for money, or you have to kind of select like the right phrases and stuff to actually be able to acquire him. So you can actually kill demons, but you won't really get to collect the demons. In order to actually get the demons on your party, you have to actually offer them the stuff, like it's a whole actual negotiation. That's something pretty standard. They also had it in Persona and everything, but in here it really felt really, really interesting. Like, some of the conversation that they had seemed really, really fresh. And even though I've seen some of the stuff before, it felt like a lot of the lines just really weren't repeated as much as I thought they would be. It was like they would have like the same type of reference in the line, but it would just be a completely different line. I always thought it was kind of interesting. I like being able to not really be able to predict what was going to be the right answer for something to hit. You know, it always felt like it switched it up on me. And then there were certain moments where you would have like the two monsters talk to each other, and that was really cool. They have like a special conversation. That was crazy. Another thing I loved about gameplay were I'm gonna say M skills, because I do not know how to pronounce that word, so I'm saying M skills. M skills are really great. They're basically like different things you can do. The first one for me, basically every hit that turn becomes a critical. I literally use that throughout the whole game. It was not really a lot that I used. I might have used the one that gives the enemy a lot of debuffs and stuff at one point, but that was the one I really mainly used because I always built my characters enough for it's like max strength. Speaking of my character builds, I really like how you can allocate whatever kind of points you want towards your Nabino, which is the main character. For me, I went with a strength based build, so a lot of physical attacks and a lot of vitality. And that was mainly because in the beginning of the game, it would always seem like my character really couldn't get an equal footing. Like I would play the beginning of the game, it would be him, and I'm collecting different spirits and stuff, and it would just basically go straight for the main character. And if he dies, the story ends, like the game ends. You have to reload back in. So it felt like he just kept dropping. So I wanted to really increase his vitality. So that's really the build that I went with, that I had a lot of fun playing. I really like this system where basically if you hit a weak spot, or if you hit an opponent and he blocks it or absorbs it or whatever, it basically costs more. It costs more actions to use a move and to get it to be blocked or get it to be dodged. It actually used 2 instead of 1 action. I always thought it was cool because I love when games really like to throw a little bit of strategy in there. So you don't want to just keep firing off attacks randomly without really knowing what the monster's weak to. Speaking of monsters, in this game they are demons. Let's talk about some of the demons for just a second. I really like some of the boss fights. Obviously I can't show you too much here because, you know, I don't want to spoil any of the great boss fights. But there were a lot of different boss fights. And even now, I did do like some of the DLC stuff. I've currently not done the hardest DLC fight, which is the guy from Shin Megami 3, the remastered one. You have to fight him. And I have not done that fight yet, so I have a lot more stuff to do, you know, since this game is basically finished from the first part. Now, real quick, I'm gonna kind of breeze over this one in particular. Characters. The characters for me weren't really the strong point. The characters just don't shine. The characters in this really, they're cool, you know. I really like the Angel character. She was pretty cool. As far as like some of the humans, they were kind of dry and boring or whatever. They were just kind of there. You know, and obviously the game is not really for that style. You know, it's more of a like open worlded hub type adventure type of game, so it isn't supposed to have a lot of crazy character development. But other than that, some of the characters were quite enjoyable. Some of them I actually just like really liked. Some of them I just felt like they were just fodder pieces, even though they were really important characters. I just honestly didn't have any attachment or whatever to them. Next, really quickly, we're gonna talk about the world. The world for me was amazing. The big open world feel to it, you know. I like being able to run around and basically hit the demons, kind of farm and kind of collect the demons as I wanted to fuse them into new things. Fuse another thing I didn't really talk about in the gameplay section. You can fuse different demons together and basically make a whole new demon. I didn't want to really get into it because I can't explain it vastly. Just like I didn't explain the essence of the miracle system. I just don't want to be the video super long. Like I said, it's not a review. It's just me talking about my thoughts about the game. Just wanted to throw that in there in case you think I missed it. But the world itself, I like the different hubs. It's not the most interesting world. I just really love the open floor aspect, the open floor plane basically that the game provides you with. I like being able to go around and find different very powerful monsters on the edge of cliffs, or you know, have a very powerful monster, a boss monster just sitting out there somewhere. That was really cool to see that. Now, to not make this video so long, I'm gonna go ahead and try to wrap it up. My final thing to talk about is the story. And really quick before we get to the story, I'm gonna talk about the difficulty. The difficulty for me was really fun. I played on the normal difficulty. I just felt like that was enough to really keep me entertained. It felt like in the beginning I was just really dying. Once I learned how to work the system, as with many Jrpg games, once you learn how to work the system, you basically can create very powerful combinations. So as far as the difficulty goes, difficulty was great. Now, talking about the story of SMT5, I will definitely say, and this is without a shadow of a doubt, I was not really into the story in the beginning. The gameplay really carried me through all of it. In fact, it took me about 65 hours to complete it in total. And honestly, that's like a normal playthrough with a good amount of grinding and like barely any side quests. Because I would do a lot of grinding just to make my character strong, because the story really wasn't interesting to me at first. In the beginning, I really couldn't catch on to what was going on in the story. I couldn't really comprehend what was going on. But as it went through, I actually ended up loving this story. You know, it's just got that kind of factor that a lot of SMT games got, where basically they throw you into this post-apocalyptic world, and you know, you just have to figure out things later. Once you have to figure out things later, it just becomes really great. You know, once you learn what a Nahabino is and how it's important to the story, and you know, once you learn about Bethel and all the organizations and the armies and stuff in the big war, it really opens up the world for you. Like for me, I loved the game. The gameplay was solid, so solid I was gonna continue playing it. But the story really opened up a whole new aspect for me. As far as the story goes, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say. Really want to wrap this video up because it's getting way too long. Like I said, this is just my final thoughts. It's not a review. It is more of a go buy this game, you won't be disappointed type thing. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. Let me know your final thoughts on the game. Let me know if you're playing it right now, which I'm pretty sure you are. Consider I got it earlier, and you know, it took me still a lot of time to play it, you know, just because of work and things. Let me know how you guys are enjoying the game. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.